Now, you won't see, you'll have seen this little truck in the background. My other phone is going dinky dinky, that'd be handy. Pretty much for the last year. I think this came in early last September, didn't it? I reckon it got
It was
September.
just before you went to France for 2 weeks.
Yeah, September, October time. Anyway, so it came in for it to tend to a couple of small pieces of rust, didn't it?
Yeah, a little patch on the wing.
That turned into be...
A little patch on the wheel arch.
Yeah, and then it turned into be...
Wing, wheel arch, seal, floor.
Back rear cross.
Cross member.
Body off.
Rear valance, body off.
Body off. Rear chassis cross member was knackered.
Yep.
The rear body mounts had come out, were rotted off.
Yep.
It did have one of those MOTs, but we didn't believe that the MOT man... He must have been...
Away.
Yeah.
It was one of them long distance.
Long distance MOTs.
Yeah.
Yeah, the slightly blind ones.
Yeah.
I can't remember, we used to call them a certain... There was a... Yeah.
I could say, but I think the guy who watches.
Yeah. So anyway, so the tow bar was falling off because you could kick the tow bar and it wobbled.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to tow anything with it unless you want to get rid of it quick, smart.
But it does belong to a mate of ours, Eric, because he's been watching. So you won't have seen an awful lot of this vehicle because I don't think we've ever really done a video. Well, we've got a couple of flash pieces which I might stick in of us lifting the body off like a bunch of idiots last Christmas. Find me tea. What's me tea again? Well, it's nice and warm here.
It's beautiful and warm.
Right, so basically, to replace the rear chassis tow bar mounted tube, sensibly on the Daihatsu Fourtrak of the late 80s, early 90s, there's only one way to do it. Because obviously you need to cut the old tube. Get the old tube out, it's the easy bit. Then you put a new tube in, which goes through the centre of the chassis, and then the tow bar welds to it, basically.
Yep.
But the trouble is, the body drops down round it. So what you have to do to get it out properly and do a professional job is do this. Right, hit the up button.
Right. Hang on, just going to do the radiator a moment.
And wobble the radiator a minute.
I think we're okay.
Yeah.
All right, going up some more.
Oh, what was that? That was the front, wasn't it? Did we come out? Yeah.
Yeah, we have airage. Radiator is...
Yes.
He's a bit tight against it.
He'll come out properly.
Yeah. He should slide out.
So we just got to make sure that the middle body bolts have done. I think we're all good. Yep.
Yep, we have air.
We've got separation, haven't we?
Yep. It's like a lift kit. Monster truck.
Right, go on in.
Okay. Okay? No.
I'll actually push the chassis back a bit. Give us a bit more radiator space if needed.
Just got to be careful of the gear knob. Gear
Gear
lever.
lever's going down through anyway.
Yeah.
So, one final check in here. Nothing tugging. Tuck, taps, no.
Clear on the bulkhead.
Clear on the bulkhead, clear on the brake lines.
Looking good.
I think we're looking good. Just check the gear lever. Gear lever is going. Right, go on, Fudge.
Yeah?
Yeah. Keep going. Overhaul is plugged here.
Yeah, we've got a plug here.
Yeah, you can't get to it really till you got the top off. Right, I'll go a bit more.
Hang on, does this go with the... Because this is attached to the body. Let me pull him off like that.
It just pops out.
Right. Looking good.
Good.
Right.
Yeah, can't see anything hideous that's going to break.
Okay, going up.
Yeah, okay.
There we go, mate.
Right, so this is the current offending article. Obviously, as you can see, this back bit of tubular stuff, chassis is not bad actually in the back here, is it?
Actually pretty good.
The main chassis rail's lovely. So we have to cut. There should be some about that much longer on the side, and it should have that body bit there attached to that bit there, which it hasn't anymore. So we're going to have to huzzah this bit out of here, aren't we?
Yep.
And try and fit a new one. Shouldn't be too bad. Oh, that's only the wiring harness for the posh rear adjustable shock absorbers that it no longer has. You probably don't need that. 'Cause all the clips are rotted off. I could probably go in the spare parts pile for it.
Yeah.
Just in case anyone ever. Do you remember those Japanese adjustable shocks?
Yeah.
No, I mean the front ones are still on there, but I am willing to bet that those little control motors.
They're not plugged in though, are they? Or did you disconnect them?
I disconnected them. That's one of the last things we'd do. I think they were plugged in the truck, but I very much doubt they work. I mean, they never worked on the Pajero when it was like 10 years old, 8 years old first did. So I reckon the best bet we need to do now is
clean.
We need to clean on this, don't we? Because we might as well clean and paint on this. And then Mr. Parker, Eric, who's probably watching this, doesn't know we've done this to his truck. He's going to have fell over.
Heart attack.
He's come on. He'll be fine. He'll understand what we're up to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, obviously we're going to have to make some reinforcement bits.
Yeah, we can remake them, can't we?
Yeah.
Or maybe we can even fish a gusset or something. Gussets or whatever we just reinforce on it.
Yeah, gussets.
Gussets. So we put some, yeah. I mean, and they say ideal time to make her look beautiful. So basically, after a year's worth of filling and work and stuff, we have rebuilt this wing because you couldn't get one.
Because you couldn't get one, so I had to rebuild all this.
All that's new. Yeah. So 2 new rear wheel arches.
Yep.
We had to make them fit, didn't we? Because the ones that they told you fitted didn't.
They didn't.
No. It's had new seals.
New seals on the back sections.
It's had the inner rear wheel arches rebuilt.
Yep, both sides.
It's had the body mounts done at the front here, isn't it? The inner flitch.
Yep,
this
inner
side.
flinches.
That side.
Yep.
We lifted the whole body off. Separated the two.
We did.
Got a right 65mm piece of tube to replace the rotted out rear body member, repaired the chassis to put it in, remanufactured the body mounts, remanufactured the receiving mounts on the truck. Mm-hmm. Then the gearbox bush broke. Do you remember the gearbox bush breaking, taking the gear lever out? And it just disintegrated, didn't it?
Because you were like,
oh. Yeah, well, it was broken before it just came out in a load of chunks. So you try and get a gear lever bush.
There's only one place in the whole world.
We got it in Malaysia.
Malaysia.
$17 for the bush.
£45 to deliver it.
£45 to deliver it. But anyway, that's in it. Now it changes, and it has successfully passed an MOT clear.
Yeah.
We have also painted it.
Sabah.
So this is newly painted, that rear quarter is newly painted, and the match with the door is pretty good, but this is not the original colour.
No.
Because this is a Sport and Field one, it's a Japo import, so it's a rugger. Mm-hmm. And obviously, originally, there was light silver at the bottom and black. This is supposed to be black, but I think this truck is totally...
That's Loco.
The colour code under the bonnet says
dark grey.
It's ash black or something and silver at the bottom. So we got the paint, didn't we? We painted the bottom of it.
And it was wrong.
It was wrong. So we started all over again on that one. Completely ignored any of the colour codes on the bin plate for the truck. And using eyes, brilliance and chips, we have matched all of this, so that all matches.
Yeah.
Passed clear for an MOT. And before it has a birthday, because it's got about a week before it's due a birthday on site, it's leaving.
We are.
It is done.
It's because we don't want to buy a cake.
Well, and the fact, let's be honest, is trying not to. Sometimes I don't mind long-term projects, but this one was supposed to be a couple of weeks' worth of work and wave it goodbye.
But we haven't actually been working on it over the whole year. It's been a little bit here, a little bit there, because obviously we've had...
Yeah, well, we had it wedged on a ramp here in 2 bits for about 3 months. But anyway. Oh, it also, we jet washed, steam cleaned, rust cured, painted all the chassis mint. I mean, it looks brand new underneath. It's cracking.
It's good, isn't it?
So basically, this is going back to Eric. And what we're going to do next is we've received our T1 Mercedes Autotrail for a YouTube subscriber who will be watching this for an engine upgrade. So we're going to show you the T1 for an engine upgrade parked next to my T1 because we're probably going to do 2 at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we've got to make the engine fit without adjusting the van. It's going to be technical. So So what we're attempting to give the man is a very nice shiny looking camper van, but it no go up hills. Same as my one, which isn't quite as nice and shiny looking, but still doesn't go up hills. So we're gonna put modern CDI diesel engines in at least the white one, and then we're gonna copy it, put it in my one, and if we can make a kit that is simply fitted, easily done, using newer shaped Mercedes parts like 904, 905 stuff, which is quite cheaply bought. We're then going to market them for all the poor sods that have a 207, 307, 308, 208D camper van, so they can go up hills at more than 30 miles an hour.
There's quite a bit of power difference, isn't there?
Well,
that
that was 60 horsepower. That's a 207D, so 70 horsepower when it left the factory in 1988. I reckon quite a lot of those have escaped.
Yeah, those horses have bolted the
building. And I think it might have been a bit of a lie that they were there in the first place.
Yeah.
What they hadn't mentioned is there was 80 of them, but they were three-legged and a bit limpy.
Yeah, and one was a donkey.
One was a donkey, yeah, the donkey, he was probably the fastest.
You think he was?
Yeah, so, because to be honest, the T1s are renowned for being a bit slow, but I reckon I'm going to try OM 611s out of a 313 Generation 2 Generation 1 facelift Sprinter, because the engines are as cheap as chips. They rev nearly 2,000 revolutions per minute more, and it's 135 of the horsepowers.
He's not going to know.
Well, but as we pointed out last time, we do not want to produce is an aimed camper van shaped missile that you can't stop. That was not the plan.
No.
What we need to do is make it so when you
drivable.
Hit it, drivable, so drivability. When you hit a hill, you can go up it at the same speed you were going-ish at the bottom, without all the Smurfs trying to escape with their hammers from under the bonnet.
Yeah.
So we're going to turn that round, show you that now. Check this piece of video footage isn't a massive amount of waffle. Not show them this cab that we've painted here. And then we're also explaining why I am departing Wednesday morning to Norway, and the reasons for going and getting a twin cab Hilux pickup truck in Norway.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all right, you can lean on that one. You're not allowed to lean on this one.
I'm not touching that
This
one
one's
now.
a bit shiny.
It's very shiny.
Isn't it very shiny? We parked it there because it's very shiny.
Yeah, it's very
It's going to have a rope round it, so no one.
Yeah.
So, this is a 207D, isn't it? Yes, this is a 207D, so basically they are the same vehicle.
Twins.
So 2 tons, 70 horsepower. Yes, Mercedes, I don't know where they got them figures from. This is an Autotrail. I'm assuming it's probably going to be an Apache. I can't see the Apache.
It has got the engine on the front there.
Yeah, well, they were all Apaches and Comanches, and so it could be there was a difference in size. But we'll just call it an Apache or a Comanche, and someone can tell me I'm an idiot and I don't know what I'm talking about, which is what normally happens. And then I think we have worked out that mine is a Pilot. Pilot. So Pilot, apparently, according to some nice YouTube watcher, who went, that's a Pilot. And then we went and looked, and I think he possibly is right that mine is a Pilot. But they are a very similar size, and they both have, well, the same problems, apart from this one has been fixed. That one has not been fixed. Well, half of it's been fixed. This one, the fella has had the entire body stripped out, the structure rebuilt. It's got a brand new interior in it. I mean, we are not going in there.
I haven't even opened the door to have. I'm not even going to get in there.
Anywhere further back, we're going to take the front out, but we're not going in there because it's very shiny.
No.
No, that's bad space.
Yeah, got to wind the window up as well.
Yeah, and we're not, no rubbing, no. So basically what we're going to do is strip all the front. There are a few things I'm going to try and get that wing to fit better because that's upsetting me.
No.
Yeah, well, anyway, but that's fine. It's painted. We don't want to touch it. Yeah, we're going to take the front out, take the engine out, and we are going to fit this with a modern, if we can get it to go in there, a modern OM 611 2.2 CDI engine, a high-speed, higher ratio gearbox.
That'd be a 5 or 6 speed?
5 speed.
Okay.
And then basically, so it'll be running a CDI system, a computer operated CDI system, which we have got to trim. This is all coming. It's one of the test victim for parts is out there. We have a twin cab Sprinter that I bought years ago that I've never got around doing anything with. I've decided project clearance. I almost finished it once, put it back outside, never got to it, it rusted out again. I've not enough. But it has only done 100,000 kilometres. It's reading in K.
Okay.
It's tachoed. It's done no miles. The engine is
pucker.
pucker. So that is going in here with some adaptation. So you need to follow that. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the twin cab in here, and we're going to strip the wiring down, see if we can minimalise it. Raymond is about to whiz in the middle of all this on his wheeler mobility scooter.
You could time it. You could
time
every
it.
time we go to do a video.
Every time we go to video,
he comes in doing
runs
burnouts and stuff on his
mobility scooter.
mobility.
So we'll turn this off for a minute,
Shall we?
shall we?
Hello, Raymond.
And then we'll start videoing again in a minute.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
What are you?
Back to it. I don't want to lean on this. I'm going to stand. There's a great temptation to lean. But you can lean. Yeah. So what we're going to do, we'll bring the twin cab in here, and we need to minimise the wiring. So I'm going to get Charlie to take the ECU out of it and remove the WPS immobiliser, so that we don't have to put all the key modules in. Yeah.
Brilliant.
And then we're going to sit here and chop lumps of wire. We're going to take the truck apart, remove wires carefully and see what stops it going, and then trim the wiring harness down so we have basically enough to run the engine, all the necessary sensors we need. Then pull the engine and gearbox, pull the wiring harness, because we'll have a truck with no dash, no electronics, and we need to trim the computer down. Like, we can use Star to tell it was never fitted with ABS, because obviously we now have the ABS.
No.
That's something we're not fitting. We could, but we're not. That's doable with software. So basically to pull the electronics down purely to run, so we're going to need an electronic throttle pedal, the engine wiring harness, the ECU wiring harness, a diagnostic port to allow you to talk to it, because it's quite a good system, and it's very reliable, as those sprinters have proved over and over and over again. And then this will be retrofitted with a 611, so that will rev to 5,500 revs, 5,750 on full screen.
Yep.
Not that you'd want to hold that for long on it. Against the sort of 4 that this is an OM 616 is capable of. So with a higher ratio gearbox out of the later 308D, we've got to do a bit of adaptation with the gear linkage to get that in there. And then basically some road testing, and we're going to have to make some parts, because the problems comes with these is that the engine is slotted in this U-shaped in here, and getting the turbocharger to clear and to run properly is going to be difficult. We're going to fit this with power steering, so we'll make all that. We'll use the original Mercedes power steering pump, make all the bracketry. We have the box, have the box. You're doing it again. You're stood right in front of my flipping camera. No, we had to turn it. Hang on a minute. That's why we give you a chair over there.
Take 452.
Take 455. We've given Raymond a cup of tea and a chair, and he's there. Stay there. Stay there. Not being horrible to senior citizens, but yeah. Right.
Where were we?
So I know where we're. So power steering. Yeah. We're going to, obviously, the fella said, can we check through the brakes and everything? The brakes on this vehicle are actually, they've got discs fitted on the front, drums on the back. They're very similar to the Sprinter that the mechanicals would have come out, because what we don't want to build, we could go stupid, fit a 605 with a massive pump, a huge turbocharger, and build a 200 mile an hour campervan missile that you couldn't stop. But we're not doing that.
Righty.
We're doing this as a sensible upgrade. And then as I said a minute ago, my plan is to copy everything we've done here.
Put it on this one.
Yeah, so we'll sort of try and do the pair probably together, because I've got lots of those engines, because because they don't fail, which is a good thing. I reckon I could muster 10. So as an engine base for a conversion, so if you wanted a 605, which you can make fit in here, a 605 turbo diesel will set you back 1,500 quid. If you could find one, you'll probably find a 605 non-turbo. It has an EDC pump. You need electronics and conversion to run that, or vice versa. You have to pay Diesel Mechan or DP UK for a mechanical pump to run it. So you're into £2,000 before you've attempted bolting it in here. The 602 that would go in one of these was the 5-cylinder, the 2.9. The naturally aspirated one hasn't got a lot more guts. It's supposed to be 100 horsepower, but it has the same issues. There is a 602 DI which goes in the later Sprinters, the first of the glass headlighteds, but they've got a Bosch VE with an electronic control motor on them, so you still then would need to go to Diesel Mechan, who will build you a mechanical fuel pump. The engines are 1,500, £2,000, because you can't buy them because they're African export.
And the pump's going to cost you.
And the pump's going to cost you 1,500 quid, which is perfectly fine because it's a piece of engineering to make it work.
Yeah.
But you're into lots and lots of money.
So
Again,
that's
my thought
£3,000
was
before you've even got started.
Before you've not even got started. So my thought is if we could come up with adaptation of original parts sensibly, with a few brackets and bits maybe adjusted that were easily made to make them fit, I can either sell you a box full of bits to bolt it all together, if you found the Sprinter engine and an explanation of what to do with the wiring harness, once we know the colours and what's got to come out and blah, 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 blah. Or I could do 4 or 5 levels where we can sell you a wiring harness, a computer that's all decoded so that you don't have the ABS options, you don't have the ESP, ASR options, you don't have the immobiliser, and you can find your own engine. But it would make these, which are actually quite cool retro campers.
They're very cool.
But sadly are too slow for modern traffic. I mean, these can be quite scary on the motorway when you're screaming along at 45 and you can't get out of the way of anything because the roads have changed since this one is 88. I think that one is 79 or 80.
I thought it must be a nightmare trying to get past cyclists.
Sometimes it does get, if you've got a wind blowing at you, there's not.
Yeah.
I mean, the drive it like you've nicked it is the only way, and it does get, and the noise. So it's hard on them. They're also, I mean, they're not bad on fuel and they are unbreakable, but you are flat out screaming. Of course, the resonance is back through the cab. So the one thing we have, someone has removed the cab mat on this.
Oh.
And just put carpet in. So of course it's 3 times as noisy. There's no
some
insulation in the
deadening.
cab, so we've got sound deadening in the cab to do. But it should be quite an interesting series. So if you've got one of these, there are millions of T1s. I mean, I've never seen someone put one of these engines in. They probably have, but let's give it a go. It may not even be possible, and we may have to abandon ship and try something else. But there's only one way to find out. I'm confident. Because what I don't want to do is have to cut the truck around.
No.
I've seen people hack massive holes in them. We're not doing that. We're going to make it so it goes.
Slot in, no adjustments needed.
No adjustments, and basically manufacture the parts to make everything fit. So we'll need to relocate turbochargers. I think the main engine will go in with the injectors, and then we need to sort all the electronics. Obviously, this thing will then need to be intercooled.
Yeah.
That's going to take some doing. To whether we need an under bumper one, we can get a Sprinter one in. It's all got to be worked out. And then we're on to, I'm disappearing off on Wednesday morning to Norway to go and get a Hilux.
You are?
Well, a Hilux.
Holiday?
It's not a holiday.
It's a holiday.
It's the Hilux. So we lost a long-term and fantastic customer early on this year, didn't we?
Yeah, no, we did.
Norwegian man called Obbjorn, who I met in an MOTQ, I think in 2009. I was in a black Mercedes 300D. He pulled in behind me in a white E300D, funnily enough, which is sat out there, which is one of his pride and joys. And he said, "Oh, you have Mercedes," and there the friendship started. He was obviously, I think he was he was in his early 80s when he passed away recently. But Obbjorn was a Mercedes man. He managed to get his W123 diesel to over 1.2 million kilometres and sold it.
Crikey.
And then he sold it to buy something he'd been chasing for years, which was a twin cab. I think she's 92, ex-reindeer herders from somewhere in the north of Norway where they have no road salt. Twin cab Hilux. So he came in to me in 2012 and said, "Oh, I have bought Hilux." I'm like, "What's one of those?" After a bit of deciphering, Hilux, we found him some prop shafts. So when he passed away, the Hilux was available, and I thought, so I'm going to go and rescue Obbjorn's Hilux. It's left-hand drive, Norwegian registered, propped up underneath his apartment block in a place called Fredrikstad, which is sort of central Norway, not right at the top, because that would be even further to drive.
Yeah.
Me and Simon are going to fly there because you don't have a passport.
No, I don't.
You don't go out the valley, boy. I've put a dirty handprint on it, touching it. It's all right, it's off. Go and get it started, deal with the Norwegian paperwork, and then drive it back to a channel port. Sounds like a thoroughly sensible idea to me. I mean, it's 2.4 non-turbo diesel, so it's not going to be rapid. It's got it's twin cab, backhoe, got big wide wheel arches and a massive great set of studded snow tyres on it. They're not on it at the moment, they're in the back of it, so it's on its road, standard summertime road tyres.
Okay.
And it has got big decals down the side of it that he had put on that say Rolling Thunder.
Rolling Thunder.
I'm not sure if it's in Norwegian or English, I haven't got there to see yet. But it's a mate of mine's and I'm having it just to... It's not worth the aggro, it's not worth the effort, it's a stupid idea, but I do like a stupid idea, so to Norway we go. So if next week's content is a tad wonky, that's cause
You're in a Hilux.
I'm in a Hilux in Norway with Simon, and it's about 1,800 miles home.
Yeah, 17 hours, isn't it, driving?
Yes, but they're considering that you're in a car that...
Goes at speed. You're probably looking at more like 19 hours in a Hilux, maybe.
And that depends if we go for the excursion. I'm going to make me mind up on the excursion on the way home, whether to just pop to the bottom end of France, grab me van.
It's like popping to Tesco's on a weekend, isn't it? Just going to
700 miles out of the way, it'll be fine. But we haven't quite decided, we'll have to see how the time goes. So you're keeping shop here.
I'm keeping shop here.
I'm going to go and deal with the Norwegian traffic authorities who are, I mean, I can't have number plates, I can't have number plates, I can't do this, can't do that. We're getting around it somehow, don't you worry. So all I've got to do is get it out of Norway, and then we're on good to go. So 55 mile an hour, trundle. It's a Hilux. Hopefully, it'll start. The batteries are disconnected. It's propped up on pieces of wood off the floor, with the tyres off the ground. So I've booked an extra bag on the aeroplane. So I'm going to try and get a battery pack on there, which I'm not sure they're going to wear. A load of camera gear, some British trade plates. And my phone's going again. Anyway, so that is this week's plan.
That's the plan.
Right, coffee, more brew.